check marks. Never mind.
WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
Do not pass me by. Do not pass me by.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to My Sister, Your Sister, where connection, conversation, and Christ come together. We're coming to you live every third Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the award-winning station WVTC Detroit. Now let's dive deep into sisterhood, spirituality, and subjects that matter.
Pass me not, oh gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While others thou art calling.
We're here. We're live. We're live. It's a new year. Happy New Year to everyone. It's good to be in this space. Thank you. Welcome to the third Tuesday, which you know as My Sister, Your Sister broadcast. And we're coming to you live from our homes because it's cold.
It's cold.
So we're still going to get a great show today. We want to thank WV and me, Michelle Johnson. I am one of 4 fabulous women who are a part of My Sister, Your Sister. So with that, let me say hi to my girl, Tamra. How you doing all the way in Ann Arbor?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you. This is new for us. We haven't done this in a long time where we've come online virtually. You know, and it feels kind of weird. It had to getting set up. And so I'm just happy that we're in the space. 2 of our partners in love, I won't say in crime, are not with us this
right.
month. They'll be back with us next month. So how you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. I am great. It's a new year. It's another start to do some fabulous things. This year, and looking forward to all of what My Sister, Your Sister will bring. And with that, we want to give y'all our topic. You doing all right, Tam? You ready to get into it?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, today, let's do it. We please feel free to leave comments, ask us questions, chime on in. We figured that we wouldn't start with anything heavy. As our first show in January, wanted to kind of keep it light. This show covers a multitude of topics and conversations. If you've been with us for a while, we talk about voting. We talk about mental health. We talk about life coaching or professional coaching. We cover many, many topics. And so we are going to continue in that vein. And like I said, we're going to start sort of light. And we decided to talk about trending topics. Things that are just constantly being brought up in the media in some shape, form, or fashion. There's a lot going on, and it's just January 20th. So I'm going to start because this is the one that I find most entertaining.
Come on.
But as I continue to see things on social media, I'm like, oh, people are taking this seriously. So, and I don't take all things serious on social media for the most part, particularly things that deal with entertainment and that kind of a thing. It's entertainment. So it could be some element of truth to it, could not be. I think the one that continues to snag my attention, although I'm not trying to focus on it, is the Drewski skit on church. And he did this whole skit where he was talking about, certain pastors doing real dramatic things in the pulpit, from being anchored from the ceiling and kind of gliding across, the church, like he has the wings. He sort of, he referenced and mocked certain pastors who are wearing, luxury clothing items, driving luxury vehicles, mocking, certain churches that have the appearance of gathering money for their own, selfish gain and not for the benefit of moving God's strategy, will along. I found it quite funny. I found it hilarious, and I know if you haven't seen it, it's out there in the social media universe. So much so that pastors are responding to it.
I haven't seen it yet, Michelle.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. He's an up and coming young comic, and he hasn't done an interview yet. At least I'm not seeking out that information per se, but it doesn't appear that he has done a response to all of the conversations that are happening regarding his skit. But I saw the video are imitating live. And okay, there you have it. Earl Sandy.
I need to go watch this, okay?
You gotta watch it. So there are a lot of pastors responding to it. It's like over 1 million views. So it went viral. It's hilarious. I wish we could play it on here, but it's probably too much for WVTZ. So if you want to see it in its totality, I suggest you go out there in the social media universe and get it. But the question I want to ask of you, Tamra, is like, how do you feel about when you probably have seen skits from comics imitating pastors and imitating, church and church folk. And I know that a lot of pastors have been responding, some, not negatively, but more of like, I've seen it, but it's not on my radar. I'm not giving it no real attention. To others are like, some pastors are like losing their marbles over it. How have you sort of reckoned or deal with, or how do you interpret those kind of sort of impressions of church?
So first of all, let me say that we as a church, particularly African-American churches, are very creative. And we're very creative. There's something about having churches loving to have a little bit of pomp and circumstance, and I will also say that people learn differently, and that visual presentations are okay with me. I'm okay. I've seen my bishop and then bring people up to the front of the church and use individuals and props to get a message across, right? I don't have a problem with that. I think it allows individuals to see what he's talking about in the moment. But I do think that there are some pastors that will take that a little bit too far. I think I saw one is where a pastor had someone put something on his, lift him up into the air and fly him across the sanctuary. And I thought, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, that was part of the skit.
I thought it was out there, but I'll tell you that the number of people who didn't like it, there was also a large number of people who thought it was awesome. And that how creative to do something different like that to show how the Lord moves in certain situations. And so, I tell people all the time, if it don't convict you, then don't worry about it. If it does convict you, then turn it off. You don't have to watch it. It's something for everyone. And I think that people who feel convicted by it or feel like it's too much, they want to spread their opinion as if we all need to agree with them that it's too much. At the end of the day, Chicken Little, the sky is not falling. Nobody was hurt. No lies were
as far as we know, no.
But at the end of the day, who was damaged? At the end of the day, who was damaged? Did the word of God go forth? Was it a little bit too much? Probably. But at the same time, who was damaged by it? And you don't have to, you may not like it, but if it's not to your liking, guess what you can do? You can turn the station. You can turn off your computer. You can go to a different platform. You don't have to watch it at the end of the day. So, you know what? To each his own. If it's trending, that's because, and I'll tell you this too, Michelle, individuals who post on TikTok and some of these other sites, they post it and they also will respond to it to get people to come to their page with the post comment, because it increases their viewership so they can get paid. So they may not be disagreeing to it or agreeing to it, but in an attempt so that they can get some money, so that they can increase their viewership as well. So what is the purpose? For you to put this out, except that you don't like it and you want others to not like it or to respond so that you can get that check from TikTok or from YouTube or from Facebook. And I think, there's other sources out there that will pay you for your viewership and the number of people that you get. You get an extra dollars, right? So, hey, again, Chicken Little, the sky is not falling. Next. Yeah.
So I want to say good evening, Regina. Thank you for tuning in. We apologize for any technical difficulties. We're working it out on the back end. Don't worry about it. We got you. But good evening, Regina. We thank you. We thank you for tuning in to My Sister, Your Sister. Yeah, I think when you get 1 million or more views of a video, that to me there has to be some element of something there, right? Like you said, it could be just for pure entertainment value. But I often, I think, I forget how they say it. I think imitation is a form of flattery. We all grew up in churches. We all visit other people's churches. And as you said, some people's leadership is a little bit more dramatic than others.
Yeah.
They like a little flair. But I also think, it is a constant undercurrent conversation about, what a pastor or leadership of church should have in terms of material assets, how they should present themselves, right? Because there's this undercurrent narrative around that itself, and where is the money going for church?
Yes.
That has been a long-standing, sort of undercurrent conversation. And I think that if you are a viewer and you belong to a church and you happen to agree with what was presented by Drewski, then that might be a conversation you need to have with your church so you can understand what's going on operationally, if that's your concern.
Exactly. To each his own. I do understand the conversation around pastors sometimes doing too much instead of preaching the word of God. I do understand that concept, and I also understand that argument. But at the end of the day, I still come to who was physically, mentally abused or hurt because of the drama. And if no one was, but you just don't like it, that's your opinion. You're welcome to it. But at the end of the day, what's the word of God preached? Was somebody touched in a positive way? Did they walk away with a greater understanding of God's word than they had before they came in? So.
Agreed. Well, I think we've exhausted that first trending topic. Again, if you want to see the video that Drewski produced and put out there that has more than 1 million views, you can go out there in the social media and check it out. And feel free to leave us a comment or send us an email if you
Yes.
have any opinions about it. We have none whatsoever. Either way, I think how you responded to my question to you, Tamara, is absolutely correct. I mean, the sky is not falling, and if you don't like it, you ain't got to look at it. And if you have a problem with it, go talk to your church. What's the next trending topic? Right.
Well, you know, there you go. There you go. One of the things I wanted to talk about was this trending topic of going no contact with your family.
You mean like not talking to your family?
Yeah, like going no contact with your mother. And so the particular TikTok, and I don't look at TikTok too often, but I happened to be on it because I couldn't sleep one night. Menopause with mental, and I was on TikTok, and there was a topic of a young lady who lives in her mother's house and decided that she wanted to go no contact, and was trying to establish rules around when her mother could speak to her, and being in the same house as her mom, but her mother not talking to her at all. Well, you know, something in me rose up because I'm thinking, baby, how you gonna tell your mama you're living in her house, eating her food, taking advantage of her heat, her electricity, the bed you're sleeping in, she probably bought it, the towels you're using, she paid for, the water you washing your butt with, she's paying for, and you telling her you want to go no contact in her house. I don't reply to stuff. And I told her, I said, there is a remedy for this. You can always leave. Yes. And mother, it's time to give her an eviction notice and give her 30 days to pack her stuff and get to pushing. Because anytime your daughter tries to establish rules in a house that she's not paying any rent for, because she doesn't like the rules that you establish, or she doesn't like the fact that you give comments to her life, then it's time for you to go live your life in your own apartment. And then engage your mother when it's necessary.
So I got to ask you a question. So the background context that you gave us about the child not paying rent and all of that, was that said in the thing that you read? Like, I don't pay rent, I live in my mom's home?
No, that was an assumption. That's an assumption on my part. That's an assumption on my part.
How old was the person?
Pardon me?
Or the child? How old was the child or the person?
The child looked like she was in her mid to late 20s.
Okay, so she was an adult legally.
Very much an adult.
Yeah, I hear you.
Sandy said, my grandmother said, every time you see me, speak. Yes.
True. That I mean, there's a respect. Where I was going, there's a respect thing. Like, even if she was paying rent and bought all her own furniture that she was sleeping on or whatever, at the end of the day, if that's someone else's house other than yours, there is a true level. First of all, it says honor thy mother and thy father. So you need to honor your mother in regardless. Like,
and for what reason? Honor your mother and father so that thy days, not their minutes, will be long in the earth.
Yes.
Mothers and daughters, there is conflict sometimes because daughters are trying to live their life as an adult now, and mothers are trying to, we still try to push them in the right direction. Our role as a parent doesn't end because you turn 21. Our role as a parent does not end when you turn 25 or 30, but how we parent you shifts, right? And so we're not telling you what to do at this point, but we are still trying to guide you. And I will agree and say sometimes mothers or fathers will go too far. But when you live in the person's house, you don't get to tell them how they can interact with you while you're living in their house. No. That to me is No, you all come together and you establish how you want to interact. That's okay. You establish those boundaries. That's okay. But you don't get to say, I don't like what you're saying to me, so I don't want you to speak to me anymore while I'm in your house. And I will tell you when you can talk. Baby, not in 2026. No, you can hit the door and take the 5 things that you bought yourself with you. It's not happening.
Well, I kind of agree with Regina. Yeah, I agree, Regina. I mean, no contact is a little much, but I do feel like the younger parents have a different way of sort of raising children, and they are giving them certain liberties as a way to, we're raising adults, and so I can't treat them like a kid, and so therefore I want them to be able to have a voice, and I want them to be able to express themselves, and I want them to show, self-agency in certain things. However, that is all well and good, but that is for particular circumstances and situations. When somebody is paying for the roof over your head, and more than likely, even if that young woman who was 20 is an adult, just because you're 20 doesn't mean you are able to live on your own, because clearly you're still living at home. And so there is this element of honoring your parents, being respectful to your parents, and to your point, if you feel so inclined that good evening, Teresa. Thank you for joining us. If you feel talking about trending topics tonight, if you feel so inclined that whatever rules have been laid down or established that no longer suit you and your lifestyle, then yes, I agree with you. You go out, you establish your own space. Yes, Regina, parents have backed off the demanding respect because to be their kids. I agree with a little bit of that too. I think as adults, as children grow up to be adults, I do think sometimes, again, parents want to establish these other relationships. And there's no other better and important relationship than a parent to a child.
Yes.
And you can make your friends. Your friends come to you, but your parents, them solid people.
Now, I will say that there are some parents out there who are way in left field. I mean, way. I've seen some parents that will go too far. And I'm not saying that every situation is the same. I'll be honest with you and say that I had to go no contact with my sister because she's crazy than 2 Betsy bugs, And
that's your sister. That's not your mother.
I will love her as long as we are all in this earth, but she's still crazy. And so, or let me just be kind and say she's different. She's different from me.
Yes.
And we just, how we navigate and how we see life and see the world is very different. And she's toxic. And I do believe that when you are in a toxic relationship with someone and you don't want to be in that toxic relationship, it's okay for you to bow out gracefully and say, you live over there, I'll live over here, and we will always love each other, but we cannot be in the same space with each other and coexist. And so I had to do that. I had to abandon my thought of being close to my sister for my own mental health. And I don't regret that. Now, when we're in the same space, I'm always cordial. I'm always nice. I love her and will always love her. But the fact of the matter is that we are oil and water, and we have never mixed and we won't mix, but we can love each other and still respect each other. And that's what I aim to do. But in my opinion, she's toxic. And I don't want to be around somebody that toxic until she changes. I just can't. That's okay. But, but she didn't live with me either. And we didn't live together either. And I wasn't living in her house telling her how I'm going to live in her house and that she just got to deal with it. So it's a little different, but there are occasions when you do have to separate yourself from someone or a situation so that your mental health can remain at a place that's healthy.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that's your sister and not your mom. Yes. And so to your point, I think there are, levels to it. And the fact that, you drew a boundary, and there's nothing wrong with drawing a boundary for both sides.
Exactly.
Because you don't want the complete demise of family, because we know the devil loves to break up a family. That gives him strength and power. So the fact that you say, let's create some healthy boundaries for both of us. But yet when family occasion comes, when things happen, we could be in that space. There's no smoke. Yes. So yeah, I agree with that. Family. That no contact shocked me. I didn't even know that was a thing that people were even trying to do.
And not to continue to talk about this, but I do agree with you that it seems to be different depending on your age. If you're a millennial, I'm a baby boomer, and how I was raised is much different than some of the millennials out here, how they're raising their children, and even some of the Gen X or whatever, how they're having and their thoughts about how to be in a space. It is different. And so as a baby boomer, my mother raised me a certain way. I was in that class where it says it's better to be seen and not heard. Show up, but you better not say anything. Yeah, I remember my mother, and we would go to someone's house, and she said, "You better not say a word. If they offer you any food, you better not accept it." It was. I had a little kind of mother. But these new mothers, you go in, she said, if they offer you some food, girl, say, yeah, because that means I ain't got to cook. It's a different time. So I recognize that it's a little different now, too.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different now, for sure, for sure. All right, what's next on your trending topic?
Next on my trending topic is the trending topic of January for every single church in the United States that is African American, and that is fasting. Everybody fasting. That's all we talking about is fasting. What we can eat, what can't we eat? The Daniel fast, the meatless fast, the peanut fast, the watermelon fast, the water fast. Don't watch TV fast. Don't listen to anything. Fasting. So, Michelle, you know that Embassy Covenant Church International, under the great Bishop Hugh Daniel Smith, we are fasting this month, and he has extended our fast through January 30th. How are you doing on the fast? Are you fasting? I guess that's not a good thing to ask, but I'm asking it.
I'm fasting. I'm fasting, and what's interesting, yes, he has extended it to the end of the month, but he wants the last week of the month to just be fruits, berries, nuts, and water. No carbs, no sweets. And I think the whole church, now this is me, because I was serving Sunday, and so when he had that a proclamation coming down from heaven that he wanted not only to extend it, but he wanted everybody just to eat fruit and vegetables and nuts and berries and water, and it was like almost an audible sigh. It was like
a holy hush came
he was like, now look. He was like, y'all got another week. Y'all have to do that. He was like, I got it just like how I received it. Like, this ain't. He's like, I apologize if it's coming to a shock, but I'm getting it as I'm receiving it. It's coming down. And I was like, okay, all right. Actually, what's so funny though, I do find it interesting that people, January is a big, month where people kind of go dry on things, right? Like they no alcohol, no going out. You might get some new members of the church because people don't have New Year resolutions and I'm gonna come back to church. Or I'm gonna start, million and one fast. that have like 1,000,001 ways to lose 30 pounds before February 1st, right? You already mentioned the water fast, the protein thing, the keto thing. They got tons. I do feel like, fasting with the purpose is good. And not just for a selfish agenda, right? Like not just for you, but something greater than you. So I do appreciate the fast that our church does. I'm getting used to this pop-up when Jesus knock on his door and be like, okay, tell everybody just drink some water. And I'll be like, well, Jesus didn't necessarily say that to me, but okay. I see you. I'm gonna do that, but I do be giving when Jesus just send out a mass email on that,
so. Like he drinks some water, but I remember when he turned that water into wine. So does that mean that?
Yes, I'm with you on that one. Like, where is my red wine at, Jesus? Because you did that miracle before. I know you can do it again. So
I love it. I love it. I think I don't eat meat anyway. I'm plant-based. And so the fast doesn't really do anything to me because all I eat is fruit, berries, and nuts
and bits. I mean, that is your diet.
Anyway, that is my diet. And so it's not as much of a challenge for me. So I'm trying to think of, okay, what can I do instead of that? Because that's right. Because that's my everyday. I eat fruit, berries, nuts, and greens all day long anyhow. So it's trying to find something that I can fast from that will challenge me. I think it's the one thing that I have to do. But I can imagine for people, and I want to tell the good people who out there fasting, don't eat a whole lot of nuts and don't drink your water. Because that's going to create a whole nother issue. Make sure you are drinking plenty of water when you're eating all them nuts, whatever kind of nut you like to eat, whatever that is, whether it's a pecan or it's an almond or, whatever it is, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because the last thing you need to do is eat so many nuts and then you can't, your bodily functions slow down. That's going to cause a whole nother issue. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water.
And I do feel like if we're going to do that, and if, Jesus is going to be sending these messages to the bishop to do, to make pivots and turns, I do think for those who, to your point, are not used to a regimen of, a plant-based, it could be confusing, it could be daunting, it could be very limiting because that's not your lifestyle. So I do think Embassy should come out with some type of pamphlet, a book for these kind of times as this, to give people recipes and to give people ideas like what to cook, what to eat during those times, because you can run into some real jams. And to your point, people are taking medications and things like that, and so they might need a source of protein and lots of water to accommodate all of the food that they would typically eat, like a chicken, a fish, or whatever it is. They're not doing that.
Agree with you on that.
They need to do that so folks won't find themselves sick or in precarious bathroom situations.
Yes, I agree with that. As the Minister of Health for Embassy Covenant Church International, I do think that there are some things that we could have, if we had known, of course, that we could have published to say, okay, here's how to eat a healthy plant-based diet. You want to eat your greens first, because that helps to get your body starting to digest stuff. And then you don't want to eat fruit first, because
all day either.
Because that can have detrimental, to somebody who's diabetic, right? And so there's a way to eat healthy even with plant-based. And then people need to understand, when he says don't eat any carbohydrates, it doesn't mean you got to give up potatoes.
Right.
Carbohydrates there's good carbs and there are bad carbs, right? So you want to give up the breads. I always say, give up everything that's white. Eliminate all the white in your life. White flour, white sugar, white bread. The bad carbs you want to eliminate.
But you can have mashed potatoes, and you can have like rice noodles, and you can have
exactly
some brown rice, quinoa or some quinoa. Yeah,
exactly.
So don't know that. I don't think a lot of people know the extent. To your point, the extent to which the menu of vegetarian food that is available. That is good.
That's good. And so there are great ways. There are bad ways to be it. Vegetarians aren't all healthy. Because
say that again for the people in the back of the church that might think that
vegetarians are not all healthy, because they go veggie, but they still incorporate all of the bad carbs that keep them sick. Vegans
like French fries.
All healthy, because vegans, they give up meat, but then they incorporate fake meat, and that fake meat has all kind of everything just thrown in there, and some of it are chemicals. So you have to read labels to know what you're digesting. And if you don't know what it is, Google it. It only takes a second. Do you realize when I go into a store, I take my phone out, and if I can't read the label, I don't know what it means, I start Googling everything. What is this? To see if it's something that I want to put in my body. So it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. But again, you can saute your spinach. You can add onions and peppers. There are wonderful veggie dishes out there that will get you full. You'll feel good. Quinoa is a wonderful,
and far more recipes now, right? And way more recipes now, right? They got whole cookbooks now.
Whole cookbooks. And then, there are wonderful restaurants in Detroit, in Ann Arbor, and Ypsi, and Royal Oak that are vegetarian based, that are vegan based, or just regular restaurants you can go to. And I always tell everybody, you can always get a French fry. Sweet potato fries, this is my go-to. But just make sure that you're reading the labels and that you're eating healthy. Vegetarian is good if you do it the right way. So
I agree. Yeah, I think that's something that the Ministry of Health should look into, creating a small little booklet. It doesn't have to be anything major, anything, that would be a huge undertaking. But just the things that we just talked about could really help a lot of people, because I'm not always clear on what I should be doing in a vegan-based diet, even if it's for a week. And, what should I be doing and drinking and partaking in that can help my body adjust without all the shocks, to your point, with all the shocks. You want to minimize the shocks in your diet. So I think it's funny how January becomes this all-out war on everything. I'm using air quotes, supposed to be bad, the drink. What do they call January? A dry January?
Dry January. and what's funny is that if you go to the gym, everybody comes out. It's packed. And then come January 25th, it'd be like nobody there. Yes, Teresa, I agree. Consult a nutritionist. And you understand they just came out with a new meal plan as well. Did you have an opportunity to see the new guidance on how to eat and what that new meal plan looks like, with your food at the top to the bottom, how you should be eating? That's something that people should look at as well. They're now prioritizing fruit and vegetables and not so much meat as before. So take a look at that. The food, what is it? Not the Surgeon General, but the FDA, Food Drug Administration, just came out with a new food plan that you want to take a look at as well.
Okay, that was good. That was a good resource to mention too, because I do know that, meats and things like that, they definitely do play a role in making your system sluggish, particularly when you're talking about portion size or the particular cut of meat, because all meat isn't bad, but the parts we like to eat, like we like to get a piece of chicken, but we love to fry that sucker and some oil. So thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget.
I was just reading the other day or was it this morning, that the Food and Drug Administration just classified bacon as a carcinogen.
Yes, I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, I know the bacon community is in an uproar.
I was like, okay, everybody who's going to First Watch and they getting that $1 million bacon.
$1 million bacon.
They may want to change that to turkey bacon. Can you imagine? They categorized it as a #1 carcinogen at the same level as cigarettes. I was like, so does that mean that bacon's going to come with a
warning label? Do not smoke unless you're 21 and over.
But that's serious. People don't realize how serious that is. We don't know the way they procure and how they smoke the bacon and how the pig, how they grow food now and how they grew it during my mother's term and years ago is completely different. And so she said, give me 4 to 6 weeks. I know, Bridget.
I'm with you. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, how they farm is different. The kind of chemicals that they're using is different. And so we have to pay we have to pay better attention to what we're eating, because food can be medicine or it can be poison. Pick your poison, right? Food can be medicine or poison. So we have to be careful what we eat, how we eat it, at the times that we eat it. And there's nothing wrong with sweets every now and then. You just can't make it the main part of your meal. So we just have to be, we in America, we eat completely different than people who are in other countries. And the things that they allow us to eat, things that we are allowed to eat, they're banned in other countries.
But their priorities is different. I think they center people more so than the corporations. Here
that is so true.
We center the dollar bill. So anything that's going to make anybody rich, regardless of the warning signs, that is going to be the center. But in other countries, to your point, they center the health and well-being of their citizens. So like in Europe, if you got red, or better example was like China, you can't have no red dye in your food.
Red dye 40.
No yellow dye, no you can't have none of that. If that's in the food you're trying to bring over into their country, it's going to ship right back to where it came from. They don't want anything with no red, no yellow, no maltodextrin, none of that. They want none of that. It's a way to make a dollar bill. So we can make it cheaper and we can make it faster, cheaper and faster, and make a profit. Oh, we doing that thing.
Give me them red hot Cheetos. When them red hot Cheetos got so many carcinogens in it, it is ridiculous. But people love them red hot Cheetos. I'm just going to tell you one story. When I was in school for public health, I do have some credentials. And one of the things I learned is that, they say milk does a body good. Milk don't do a body good. Cow's milk does not do a body good. They came up with that slogan because back in wartime, milk was not selling. The farmers could not get rid of, they were throwing milk away, and they were trying to figure out a way that they could profit off of the milk that was coming from the cows. So they came up with a slogan, and they put a little bit of vitamin D in it, and they told you it was good for you to drink. But in reality, it is not made for humans. It's made for animals. So milk does not necessarily do a body good. But because, and then, of course, they lobbied the politicians and said, we're going to hand you a little bit of money if you promote that milk is good for humans. See, it's all intertwined with political advances and money and all of that. So you have to be careful what you put in your body. If you get gas when you drink milk and it tears your stomach up, it's because it's not for you. Leave it alone. Okay, I'm off of it now. See that my public health stuff is coming out. I'm a nerd when it comes to public health. So what's your next trending topic? I can be on this all day.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I have another trending topic other than I am very fascinated in a lot of conversation about the use of AI.
That should still be trending. You're right.
Yeah, it is one in which the organization that I work for, we're starting to have more conversations around the use of it, how we will use that with our grantee partners. So I work at a foundation, so it supports other nonprofits. And so we're having these discussions of not only how is AI being used in our respective fields, so health, arts, community development, sciences, but also how AI is being used in facilitating, specifically with my work, how, do we accept applications from folks who are using AI to write them? Are we using AI to rate and review them? So there's just ongoing, and there's pros and cons to everything. But there are limitations to it because AI is invented by people. So it still has the same biases, the same implicit bias, all the biases they still have, right? Because it's all generated by man. But also there's some climate and environmental issues with these big data centers that use.
Now that's the real trending topic.
Generate the power for the usage of all of this. So there's a lot of discussion going on, and I know people, I've used it. I know lots of folks, use it for multiple things and multiple industries, but it's a huge topic, and I think folks are still struggling with the acceptance of it. And it's just like when the internet first came about. People are like, I ain't gonna use it. It's the devil. And now you really can't facilitate too much or nothing without the internet. So I feel like, so I think AI is another one where
I agree with you.
It's some pros and cons, and I think people
I have been following the data centers and people just up in an uproar, and I understand it. I mean, those data centers are going to pull a lot of electricity. Who's going to foot that bill? Those data centers
and water, not just electricity, but water to run the
Our Great Lakes are important to us. Michigan, we are so blessed to be surrounded by water.
Fresh water. That's the key. Fresh water.
And do you know how much those data centers are going to water that they're going to use per day?
Yeah.
Where is that cost going to come from? And it's going to impact our farms. And Michigan is a really big farming state. It's going to impact the health of people because, of course, the electricity, all of that's going to increase. For people that are living in those areas, I don't want it in my community.
And so you imagine typically history does repeat itself. So they would typically put it in communities where they feel that they are
less
represented, undervalued, a poor neighborhood where, so I mean, just like when they were putting, what are those things with the hospitals where they were put those incinerators? They were putting it out. So anytime, anywhere,
they had a big incinerator, and people in that neighborhood, their rates of asthma were off the charts.
And so you have that issue also compounding. And so again, what's being valued in America? The dollar bill, and how much of it I can make. And these data centers is right in the center of that. Folks can make a lot of money. There's a lot of platforms. It's not just ChatGPT. It's not just I forget the other one, Copilot, and there's others.
There's others.
There's other
big ones, much bigger than ChatGPT.
Exactly, much bigger ones. So that's another trending topic. I think more conversations are being had, and and I think some sectors are more advanced in other ways. I mean, the health industry is very advanced in AI in many respects. I think and I think with Detroit, it's a big question because we are, a city and a state that is known for invention, known for ingenuity. So the role that Detroit and Michigan can play is going to be huge because we have all that history.
So, you mentioned Detroit and the trending topic of data centers and the role that Michigan is going to play is going to be huge. I think other states are going to be looking at what we do. We are going to be electing a new governor.
Yes, we are.
And so one of the trending topics that happened, I think, over the weekend is Vice Governor Gilchrist dropped out.
Yeah. He did, and now he's going to run for Secretary
of the governor's race. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm not surprised. He's going to be running, I think, for Secretary of State, considering our current Secretary of State got some stress. She got some, she got some issues with some staffers. Yeah, she got a whole lawsuit while she out there trying to adopt a dog. She need to be adopting some sense.
Yeah. Teresa said no more Gretch. I like Big Gretch. I'm sorry. I like Big Gretch, but
I wish she would run again, but I know that she's probably going to go on and maybe try to go to Congress or some other thing she's going to do, which is great and fabulous. We need support in all levels, but I'm not surprised he dropped out and decided to go this route. Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I think I'm going to be even more surprised if anyone else. I don't know if anybody was running against Duggan.
There's quite a few people. John James.
Oh, not that John James. Girl, not that John James. Not that John James.
I want to tell him to please get some lip balm. I'm tired of seeing that brother lip acid. I just want to tell him.
Because of all them lies he tell. All them lies.
I just want to tell him, get some lip balm, man. Come on.
Yes. Okay, well, he's not going to get it. Because I will say this about Duggan. Say what you will about Duggan. Say what you will. However, the man has made some strides in the city, and I think he has big plans to take the state to the next level. He has big plans. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say that, you and I were at the same place for quite some time, and we started doing work together way back in what was that? No, 2008.
Grandma looks like Sally Martin.
Grandma. It looked like Sally Martin. I don't know who Sally Martin is, but it's just funny. It took it away from me. Oh, okay. I remember Michelle back in the day, back in 2010, maybe it was, when urban gardens were just coming back in to the city, and you and I were working on a project. I pulled you in to go into the city of Detroit and to kind of take a look at the how urban farms were starting to come back and see how we can fund some of those urban farms. Remember that? Way back in when, and to see, and then me transitioning from there and going to Habitat for Humanity, I've seen the shift. I've seen the change. I've seen the comeback being there. Now, I can't say that everything is perfect. I work for the city of Detroit, right? But I can say that I've seen a difference, more so than I've seen in the previous mayors that were there. Not that they didn't do some great stuff, but I've seen a lot more out of this mayor. And I think he's done, given the circumstances, and I'm not saying everything's perfect, everybody, so don't come for me. Don't come for me. But I do think that he has brought the city, with help from others. He didn't do it by himself. He has helped to bring Detroit back to a place where people want to come, because there was a time when nobody was coming to Detroit and everybody was trying to, on the next thing smoking, trying to get up out of there. I do think that he's done a good job, along with other partners, public-private partnerships, to bring industry, to bring stores, to bring people back into the city. Now, is there gentrification? Yes, that happens with every single city, metro that is growing. You're going to see gentrification. Can there more be done to reduce that? Definitely. I'm waiting to see how our new mayor in Detroit works with community to bring community back, because that's always been one of the biggest complaints is that, okay, all the money's going to the downtown area, it's going to the riverfront, it's going here, it's going there, but nothing's going into the neighborhoods. I will say that you can't build a neighborhood before you build the city center. You have to start in the city center and then work your way out. But there has to be more investment in community. And I'm hoping that even with the decrease in general funds in the city because of taxes and because of tariffs and all of that, with our shrinking general fund, I'm hoping that we can definitely see more money going into the neighborhoods and benefiting the community that we haven't seen at the level that Detroiters want to see.
I agree. I think we'll see. We'll see. You know, lots of big changes are happening in the city. We got a lot of leadership. We got new leadership. The first Black woman running the city. We have going to have a new governor coming up. Lots of changes. So I think, you know, one thing for sure, too, for certain, Detroit is no stranger to changes. We have still remained resilient in spite of a lot of challenges, like many other cities have. We have definitely we have that Detroit rigor and strength and grit. You know, it's nothing like Detroit grit. So more to come, but I do think there's something to be said that, did you know, Detroit has increased its population. I think it was the first, I think last year it shared out in many publications that Detroit had its first like increase of population, folks as a home. So I think there's more to come, and there's always trending topics. And we're always running close on time.
I know
to talk about. This has been a good conversation. I learned some things. We shared some things. We heard some opinions from others. So it was all good. I think this might be something we could do every January. Like what's being established as trends of the year, right? What are the things people are talking about at the top of the year? I think
in the streets. What are they talking about in the streets? I'll say this, that one of the things that came up, and before we get off, is that people are starting to see the ICE agents in Michigan. And so y'all be safe out there.
It's cold.
It's cold. Use wisdom. Yes, use wisdom. Use wisdom because they're not for you. And so use your wisdom, you know. Just use your wisdom.
That's true.
We know what the end game is, but you know, get home to your family. That's what's more important, right? So just use wisdom.
Yep. Don't wait for a corporation to tell you what to do. Do what's in your best interest. We learned that in the pandemic. The great resignation. Folks was like, I am done with you corporations. And I'm going to do what I need to do.
And they still resigned. They just resigned in the workplace. Like, you know what? I'm doing this much. And if you want me to do that much, it ain't going to happen. So, yeah.
Better give me this much.
We're not waiting. So the time is over where you say, do the job and then I'll pay you when I see you can do it. No, baby. Pay me and then I'll show you what I can do.
And on that, we want to thank everybody who joined us tonight, who sent us messages, who have supported us. We thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you in February on the third Tuesday. We'll have another topic. Who knows? We might have a guest. We always like to keep it fresh and impromptu around here because we want you to just have a surprise and to just dive in and enjoy. So thank you so much. We miss you, Randy and Nikki. They'll be rejoining us hopefully in February for the next My Sister, Your Sister broadcast.
Stay warm. Stay blessed.
I know that's
right. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of My Sister, Your Sister. Now, don't keep this to yourself. Tell a sister or a brother. And join us next month on the third Tuesday
at 8 p.m. Eastern
on WVTC Detroit. Stay in touch with us via email at sistersllc@gmail.com and partner with us via Cash App at $MSYSCOMM. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.
Let me at thy throne of mercy and see, find a sweet relief.
Greetings, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Fletcher, founder of the Michael Fletcher Chorale. Save this date on Friday, March 27th, 2026, for a golden evening as we honor Evangelist Sandy Rose's birthday and 50 years of gospel music excellence. Don't forget, save the date, Friday, March 27th. See you there.
Okay.
You ain't changing your mind now, have you?
We're about to be one big happy family.
I'm just hoping I can trust you to return my love.
I mean, as much as I know how to love.
Did you sleep with him?
No! This is toxic.
Don't become the thing that hurt you.
And what is that?
Bitterness.
I really needed you when Daddy died.
Girl, look, there you go with what you need. This not about you. Didn't you find God for that? I'm not here to meet your needs.
I understand that you love her. I get it. But like this, right here, this is toxic. Toxic? Man, who's you talking to like that?
And we're here at the Davidson High School for the first game of the season.
Look, I'm sorry, sir, but we will all run it for our lives.
Hope you enjoy being used, man.
Man, what? No. You better find someone else to play with, bro.
Come right. You both know you ain't about to hit nothing but a high note. You better sit down.
My Bible tells me that the wages of sin is death.
That's wages, honey, not wedges.
I know what it says, Miss Sunday School teacher.
I see that one is coming to the altar.
Now is the time.
Singing and praying with my mind.
Cut!
How you gonna cut singing and praying?
I'm Dorian.
And I'm Remy, and we're Elmar Furs, located in Oak Park, Michigan, and we watch WVTC Detroit.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.